So what's he doing during the day? He wants to go. Oh, he goes to
Good morning. All right, 6:45 Friday. You guys ready for the Arctic blast coming in today? Yeah, it's pretty chilly this morning.
We're all just like this morning.
Yeah, all right. So drive safe today and stay warm. This week's code of conduct: respect the property of others. One thing I thought about this this morning coming in regarding property of others that happened last year to talk about quickly was just, when we open a manhole cover or anything like that to like verify utilities, or if it's a comm, we should always check. We should make that phone call either to the office so that we can call our point of contact. I know Consolidation Communication, which used to be Fairpoint, they kind of made a stink last year of us popping some covers. So that's another thing that, reinforce respect the property of others. We don't own that manhole. That's not our utility. We should give the common courtesy to let them know that we need to change a cover or we need to verify utility. It's a good step, something to think about. So moving forward, unfortunately, we had our first recordable last week, so the count's at 6. We're going to talk about one of the reasons why it could have occurred today in our safety meeting. It's just a other than serious type of case, so there's no lost time on it. So our 808-day count still is moving forward. So this week I just wanted to talk about proper lifting techniques, something that we don't think about all the time. Again, it's, we do a lot of manual labor. There's a lot of heavy lifting that we do with our type of works between rail and trenchless and concrete, especially concrete form work and everything. It can be heavily demanding on our bodies. So with proper manual lifting, again, we want to try to eliminate as much as we can. Substitution by, using heavy machinery and things like that. Putting up engineer's controls, there's not a lot of engineer controls that you can really set up other than using machinery. And then really where we can focus a lot of our attention is the admin controls, such as, changing the way we work around those potential hazards by team up, team lifts, breaking things down to smaller sizes if necessary. And then also how to properly, eliminate those unsafe acts by having good safe work practices. So, again, you want to keep our wide base. We want to have a nice wide base. Right? We want to squat down with our knees. We want to keep good body posture with our backs. We want to try to lift slowly, not rapidly, and do sudden movements. We want to make sure we're using our feet. Always want to rotate with your feet. You never want to keep your feet stand and do a lot. If you start doing a lot of this, you're putting a lot of strain on your back. Lead with the hips. Our strongest part of our body is our legs, our core here. And then we always want to set everything in our power zone. Our power zone is from our knees to our shoulders. And this area here is good techniques. And we got some kind of do's and don'ts. So again, we want to team lift. Bulky, heavy loads as a team. Doing so is smart and to stay safe at work. All right. Turn with our legs. Okay, again, this type of motion puts a lot of strain on our core and on our groin areas. Use our legs, like I said before, and then use equipment. All right. So if we have big, bulky loads that you're gonna overload, you're gonna overexert yourself. Stop. Get help. Let's figure out how to do it in a safer way. Don't twist when lifting. Don't slouch over, and then lift heavy. Don't lift heavy loads. If or if you're uncertain of the weight of something, ask questions. We have a lot of yellow iron around here. Let's utilize that as much as we can on those types of jobs. I got an interesting slide here just about the pounds of compression force on our lower back. So when we're standing straight up, they're saying about 80 80 pounds on our lower back. We put 20 pounds in our arm, and it's 10 inches away from our body. We're putting 170. Now you got 20 pounds, and that load is going further away. We're up to 260. Okay, that's a lot of forces on that lower back. And then we're getting into the high risk stuff is when we're overreaching away from our body with our back extended out. 635 pounds on our lower back. 460 with that 1 pound. In the same situation, you take 20 pounds to 1 pound. You drop it by a little bit, and then moderation is when you're sitting down. So when we do this very frequently. When we're doing these types of tasks, okay, there is potential for injuries there. So that's why good posture, good lifting mechanics is gonna help us prevent injuries. And again, we could try to eliminate those through using machinery. So it's just something to kind of think about when you're out there doing work, or it's going to be an all-day task. Think about it. Think about how we're doing that task. How can we set up our work zone so we can kind of eliminate some of these types of situations when we're overexerting ourselves over and over and over and over again. So, any questions? So just in conclusion then, manual lifting, let's try to eliminate as much as we can. Machineries, if we can't, let's do safe practices such as good ergonomics, legs, keeping everything in our power zone, using our feet, buddy system, and then personal protective equipment really doesn't help us too much. But there is back braces out there, there's knee pads, things like that can kind of help you ergonomically prevent an injury. With that said, I'm going to pass to Joe. Had one quick thing before we get over to Ken regarding.
Hi, everybody. As everyone hopefully by this time knows, we're in the process of rolling out a new software system to help with our timekeeping and our equipment tracking and all of our daily reporting functions that we do on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick reminder of the implementation schedule, which we are now in the midst of. Some of you might have some training today or Monday, but which is fine. Don't worry about it too much. But so the expectation that we've got right now is that we're going to be doing a little bit of double entry work this week and next week. So when I say double entry work, we're going to do our paperwork all the same way. We're going to do our time cards the same way. Everyone in this room for this week's work, which started this past Sunday or Monday, depending on which day you started, you're going to still have a normal time card. It's going to have all the standard information on it. You're going to still have your normal daily reports, and all that stuff will get handed in no later than Monday morning to be processed the normal way. And that same concept will apply for next week, which starts Sunday, this coming Sunday. And then also then for this week, we're looking for everybody as a practice week to get all of their information copied into the new mobile entry system, the system that's computer-based or tablet-based or phone-based, depending on what you're training. So for all you foremen, this applies for all the foremen who are working with their crews and keeping track of their crews' times, and then for everybody who's keeping track of their own individual time. So the same concept is for next week. Next week is also a practice week, and the goal by the end of next week is to have two different systems which match up perfectly. Each of us has the same number of hours in system in the current system we have, and the same number of hours in the new foundation system. And once we get confident that we've got the system right and everyone is understanding of how to use it, and we work out any kinks, then the following week, the week of January 20th, the time that we're going to start keeping track of starting January 20th, will go entered into the system, and that the new foundation system will be the one which gives us a paycheck, which that paycheck would be the Friday, February 1st paycheck that you receive. So is there any questions? Is that clear?
Should we start putting it in like today so that it's
yep, and you can and you can backtrack to Monday this week and get that caught up. And if there's any questions, we've been saying in the training, if you're spending more than 2 minutes on something, stop, give myself a call, give Justin Staler a call, give Matt Saganowitz a call, or come see us directly. We're here. So if there's any questions on if something's not working right, if there's any questions, and for those of you who are not sure what I'm talking about at all, just speak with your foreman, speak with your supervisor. I know there's a lot of people who are kind of bouncing back and forth between projects or plowing or other work around the shop. Just make sure that you still know, basically who's keeping track of your time or who's helping you keep track of your time, so that we don't have anybody go with anything missed as we transition here. So it's a new change for everybody. We're all in it together. We're all doing the same, change of process, but in the end, hopefully we'll all be better off because of it. Any other questions?
I think, Joey, if there's a lot of coordination between a particular person and their foreman, normally on the time card, then they should make sure that it's happening throughout.
Exactly. It's all the same information, your hours, what you were doing, cost codes, that type of thing, but just different format at which it's going in. So but through these 2 weeks especially, we want to make sure the verbal coordination between crews and the craft and everybody is exceptionally good. So if there's any questions.
So the training that we came in and did, you had us fill out 2 hours for the training and then submit that. Does that need to be resubmitted again?
Nope.
When we go through, or that's the one?
No. You could consider that 2 hour time,
So
a record that's already kept. So, yeah. Any specific questions? Come see Matt, myself, or Justin, and we'll be around all day today. We'll be around Monday. Our phones are on throughout the weekend. Matt's phone is on all night long.
Okay. Volunteer.
All right.
I'll test it tonight.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay, let's see. Annual lifting. Keep that in mind this week. Announcements. Aside from the new foundation software, we have everyone should have their 2019 insurance certificates for motor vehicles. So if you don't, certainly you should get right on that. You check with Larry, Scott Burns, or I guess we don't have any here today, but
We don't. So you can get some for you if you need.
ask around.
Yeah.
So for this week, we're profiling all the water break work that was done. It is the season. And on Monday in Burlington near Hickok and Boardman off Sheldon Road, they had a water break. City did, and the damaged pipe was 16 feet underground and was successfully repaired. And then on Tuesday, a second break on the same line occurred about 20 feet away. The pipe was obviously at that point in its life and pretty fragile. And they, in both cases, it was a radial break around the entire pipe. Then on Wednesday night, we responded to the city of South Burlington CWD on Victory Drive, where there was another water break, and this one happened at a broken saddle in an AC pipe. So this is Hickok and Boardman. Hickok and Boardman's got that really large building, and really massive looking building on Shelburne Road. Looks like it made a little bit of a mess of the parking lot. And this is Victory Road over in South Burlington. And also, obviously, water breaks can really destroy a road and the pavements, the surfaces. Yeah, a couple of Himaxes. That must be in South Burlington.
That's Victory.
Victory up in South Burlington. And then this again is Victory, nighttime work, where I think most of the Hickok and Boardman work was daytime.
It was all night. Oh.
Both of them? Both of them were working. And then this, hard to say which one that
That
is.
one's Victory, and
Victory?
then the one below is Larry's Hickok.
Yep.
Freaking new guy.
Yeah, new guy. New labor.
Look how clean his hat is.
I'm standing on the gas line.
I was
Oh,
wondering that in the
yeah, there we
picture.
go there, yep.
It's
They
abandoned.
have a lot of separation there, huh?
Just barely got enough room.
That
Yeah,
is,
we're looking over there. There's the sewer line right next to him.
that's amazing, yeah. It's amazing that all those lines are in there that close. I mean,
That gas line.
they obviously cheated here on their separation,
abandoned.
but that gas line being
Nobody
that
wants to do
close.
anything with it.
Does the gas company know about that?
Yeah, it's abandoned. Yeah, I called them out right away.
Do you want to cut it? No.
Well, they were going to cut it out of your way.
Yeah.
Well,
They said they
still,
would.
it's just knowing that the pipe has now failed in 2 locations. Sounds like a risky situation. So here, this is photo from the archives, and this is a drainage system that was put from for UVM from the Trinity campus, which is the old Trinity College, and now owned by UVM. And a few years back, we put in a drainage system and swales down to the lower section behind the Salmon Run. So that's what we got. Okay, have a good day out there, and remember about lifting this week. Regional Valley.